Good evening. My name is Dr. Laurel Wilkinson, and it is my pleasure to be with you today, to be with everybody connected via technology today. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, I'm so appreciative of your logging in and being with us tonight as we discuss intimate partner violence during our Monday Wellness series. I've got my interns with me, students at the University of Alabama at Birmingham School of Education, Community Health and Human Services program. And tonight we're going to talk about domestic violence as in observance of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'm also pleased to have our community partner, someone who has worked with me now for many years. I love her to death. She's close to my heart, and I get to do community outreach with her. So I'm so happy to have First Lady Dorothy McAdory with us as well. So I'm so pleased that she's here with us. This is being recorded. You can find this recording later at the Wilkinson Wellness Lab. We do have a YouTube channel. It's broadcasting live on Facebook. So we're happy to join all of you out there. And as always, please check regularly with www.wilkinsonwellnesslab.com. It's a great resource for your health and wellness information. And we love to get feedback from you. So come visit the website, post comments on our blogs, and or visit us at Wilkinson Wellness Lab on Facebook or Instagram and check us out on there. Post your questions. We'd love to entertain your questions. And most importantly, we want to answer those questions so that we can all do life well, all live well, all be well. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the host of the evening. Right now, we have two interns who are going to kind of lead the way for our discussion tonight. And that is Miss Sean Mack, who is in the upper corner here, who just waved, and Miss Saniqua Malone. Again, two of UAB's finest in the School of Education, here to lead the discussion about Domestic Violence Awareness Month and intimate partner violence. I'm also got my other students, and we're going to kind of be here to help with the conversation, and we're going to be watching you on Facebook Live. So as you have comments, we will be asking our esteemed host for the evening. So please sit back, relax, engage, and let's talk about domestic violence. Thank you.
All right. Hey, ladies, how are y'all?
Great, thank you.
Good. Saniqua, I'm gonna start with you, and I'm gonna ask a few questions, just try to get your perception on how you think about domestic violence. My first question would be, what is domestic violence?
Domestic violence is intimate partner violence, and it is increasing significantly every year, and we want people to be more aware of the signs in relationships of domestic violence.
Okay. Shayna, can you elaborate a little bit on what domestic violence is?
Here we go. I should be unmuted now. Let's see. Domestic violence, I'm looking at the definition, so I'm just going to read it out. It's willful intimidation, physical assault, battery, sexual assault, and other abusive behavior. It's often part of a pattern, so this is repeated and is usually takes the form of trying to control another person through what I discussed previously, intimidation, but it can take a whole lot of different forms other than just physical.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Saniqua, back to you. What well, Shayna just gave us some things that domestic violence can can look like. So, but what do you think, why do you think domestic violence is so big now? Like, why do you think domestic violence is happening and we need to get awareness out?
You know, sadly, it is a learned behavior. It's going from generation to generation. People are growing up within their homes, they're seeing it, and then they are living it in their relationships. And unfortunately, it's transferring to the children's lives. So if we can get to talk to more people to know what the signs are and that they're unhealthy and that is life-threatening, takes so many lives, then maybe we can decrease those numbers.
I agree with you, especially on the fact that, you know, it's repeated and it's coming from family and from the way people are being raised and the examples they're being shown. I definitely think that love, nobody knows the true definition of love and knows how to express it. So, you know, people are holding a lot of anger within and nobody knows how to manage and know what to do with their emotions. So it tends to come out in an evil form or a very hurtful way that is, just as you said, can be very dangerous and can be deadly. So I agree with you on that. What are different types of abuse?
Different types of abuse. You could belittle a person. You could steal their confidence away from them. It's stalking, it's controlling, verbal and physical abuse, is being impatient, insecurities, threats. There are many different forms of it.
Okay. What would be some of the warning signs? Like if a person was to go out and they meet a person, you know, would they be able to recognize some of these signs off top, like during the first conversation, or would it, you know, take more conversation or getting to know a person? What would be a warning sign, some of the warning signs that a person can kind of look out for?
You know, it is always good to ask questions when meeting a person. And there's other information that you also want to withhold about yourself until you really get to know a person. So if you meet someone the first day and they may ask for your number or something, you wouldn't say, well, this is my telephone number and I live at this and that address. You don't want to tell everybody where you live or where you work. Different things like that. You want to keep personal information concealed until you really get to know a person, because it would be nice if they can say when they first meet you, I'm crazy, I have problems, I could possibly even take your life, you know, but that's not going to happen. They're going to be so sweet, kind, say all the things that you want to hear. But fear comes in. That fear may come in as, why you didn't call me back? The insecurities may set in, control you. I thought we were supposed to be together today. Why you spend time with your friend? You know, so it's different signs to watch for. And it's also good to talk to someone and let them know who you're meeting. So if you met a nice guy and you think he's wonderful, let someone know who he is. Maybe even where you're going for a date. Because they want to get you isolated. They want to know all about you. And usually that's a big red flag. If they're telling you everything, want to know all about you, those are some red flags to watch out for at first meetings.
Okay, Shayna, you can join in.
Hi. When you're talking about those red flags, it reminded me of something. We often talk about the cycle of abuse and what abuse looks like. Of course, it's often, you know, demeaning, putting someone down, saying you're never good at this. Maybe I'm the best that you can get. But there's also a concept called love bombing. And that's where after you hurt someone, both physically, emotionally, whatever, you then try and make it up by being very sweet. You're on your best behavior. Maybe you take them out to a fancy dinner, and it's just an inundation of love and affection. But then, so you can, if you're in this relationship and if you're the victim of this love bombing, you may think, oh, that was just a one-off time. Everything's gone fine. They're being so sweet to me. It's all right that, they hit me that time. But then the cycle begins again. And what makes a relationship abusive and not just one with hurdles is that there isn't any change. They will continue to hurt you and then go back and try and pull you back into the relationship, try and control you, isolate you from your friends and family so that it doesn't end. So there are highs and lows but it's all seeking to control.
What would be one of the reasons why, or some of the reasons why women stay? Well, yeah, women, why they stay in these type of relationships?
It's sad that they think that he's showing that he loves me, that he cares. Oh, he's jealous. And they find that attention as cute. And sadly, it's feeling a void that they may have, maybe come from their father or something within their family, or just something lack within them. So I definitely believe that if they can talk to someone, let them know, about meeting new people, what they're talking about, that could be very helpful.
Okay. So a lot of women pretty much not knowing themselves and not knowing what love is really,
Yeah.
The real true definition of what love is or how to be loved. And they're struggling and suffering from different voids or, something that has happened in their past of how they grew up, maybe has an effect on why they settle for domestic violence.
And let me just add this too, Sean. We have to know what love is. We have to know that love is patient, is kind, is supportive, is the truth, it builds, all of that good stuff. And as soon as a woman or a man sees signs, you make a person mad, then automatically you get cursed out or you get pushed. You need to know those red flags and proceed with, if you proceed with caution, and listen to someone, tell someone. I can't say that enough, because I lost my best friend to domestic violence. And she was a great person, smiling, laughing. To be a victim, it's not that the person deserved it at all. They probably tried to make the best of a situation and get around a situation or have children with the person and think that they have to stay or accept it in some way. But anytime domestic violence is there, you have to get away from that. You have to get out. And usually take women 7 times to leave before they officially cut it off for good. 7 times. So they will leave and come back. You accept his call. He comes over. He has the flowers. Like we said, go back to the big teddy bear. But unfortunately, the red flags are still there, but they're worse than before.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that a lot of women believe that they can change a person or change a man or the partner that they have?
You know what? Honestly, losing my best friend, I really don't believe you have a choice in that, because I believe if she thought she had a true choice and really knew how to end what happened and she had children, it definitely would have been different. So you have to get with a person and ask questions. Ask as many questions as you need to, and a lot of these tragedies happen at home. It doesn't usually happen when they're out at the grocery store, and you hear some things happen at work, like the partner comes to their jobs and things like that. But a lot of these incidents happen at home. And that's where you feel the safest. So I just really want to stress is as soon as you see domestic violence, please seek help. There is help. There's people who care. There's many different places, like we called out when we said a YWCA, one place. You know, if you, I hope that you would tell a parent, a friend, but people care. And you don't have to figure it out by yourself.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go to Jalen next. Jalen, are you with us?
Yes.
Hey, Jalen. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions on this subject that we have. What is your take on domestic violence? What is your
I
perception?
think domestic violence is anything that is verbal, physical, and mental. And to piggyback off, I think what Sanique was saying earlier about how like in today's time, like toxic is the trend. Um, people like in the way they glorify like toxic relationships, and they think that like it's cute, um like it offers like a sense of security, like, oh, he don't mean it, or that's just how we are, that's just how we interact with each other. But real love does not do that. Nobody who loves you is going to call you out your name or put their hands on you or put you down. Like that's not what that is. Or um go in public and embarrass you. Like a girl that I used to be friends with in high school, her boyfriend was fighting her at Applebee's in front of her friends. And most men, like when they abuse like their girlfriends or wives, they do it behind closed doors, but he's doing this in public. And I feel like a person like that, they just don't have anything to lose. So I think like anybody in a situation like that should like get as much help as they can, because it's serious. Like something little can escalate to something big like very quickly.
Okay. Is Renee with us?
I am.
Hey.
Hi.
I want to get you. How are you?
Oh, well,
I want to get your take on some things. What are the after signs of domestic violence?
when you say after signs, what do you mean by after signs?
Like bruises, crying, emotional behavior,
Oh,
off
I see.
balance, like.
There's definitely a difference in behavior. Things that you were once attracted to, you're no longer attracted to. Or maybe a person who's being abused, they feel that they cannot be out for a long extended period of time, or they need to check in with that partner, let that partner know their every move. Of course, you're going to notice some bruises if it's physical abuse that they're experiencing. If it's emotional abuse, you may see that that person is kind of down in the dumps, just unattentive, not there. Those are some of the recognizable signs. But then you also have underlying signs that affect your emotional health. You can have symptoms of anxiety and depression that was brought on because of the intimate partner violence.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. With domestic violence, did you guys know that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by their intimate partner? We look at domestic violence a lot of times that mostly women go through this, but 1 out of 4 men actually suffer or experience domestic violence by their partners. And actually with that, I think I think it's kind of hard for men because a lot of times nobody believes them. And then a lot of times men don't report it because their pride or their ego, the fact that they're getting beat by a woman, takes effect with that. And so, it's like one of those things where it just doesn't get reported. So it's like, what type of help would it be for them, or what could they do if they were getting abused? What do you guys think? Anybody can answer that one.
I think that's true. I like that you said that their egos may be affected, that they don't want anybody to know that I'm being abused by a woman. Because when we think about intimate partner violence, we kind of go to these gender norms and we think men abusing women, but
Mhm.
women do beat on men as well.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Yeah. I think that goes back to one of the things of when you're kids, we teach boys to not put their hands on women, but nobody's teaching girls to keep their hands to themselves either. So, and then women grow up, and even if they don't hit or do a physical act, they provoke a lot. A lot of women are getting men faces and push them to a point or up against the wall. And we all know what happens when someone gets pushed up against the wall. So I think it's definitely an unfair game on that one with men. So yeah, anybody else have anything they want to say on that? No?
I just want to add that on the subject of the types of violence that, we see more these days, and the type of violence that women can, commit against their partners. Social media, when we're talking about how often in these relationships it's about one partner controlling the other, I have a few friends and they think it's normal to share everything with their partner. They have access to their phone, their email, everything, because the partner wants to know what they're doing every hour of every day. And they think that if you're not willing to share that type, it's saying that information, it's like saying that you're cheating. And that's how they manipulate them into sharing that information. Like, oh, if you're not willing to do this, then it means you're cheating on me or something like that. And that type of manipulation, yes, is very common.
Yeah, a very unhealthy behavior it is. So what effect do you think domestic violence have on children?
Oh wow, it has a great effect on children. Um, Children, small eyes, are absorbing every action we as adults commit. And as an adult, they believe that it's fair or it's right because you're the adult. As an adult, you're expected to um, execute behaviors or patterns. So just like a child, I'm going to discipline you because you didn't eat all of your vegetables. Well, they feel that their parent or their mom, their dad is being disciplined because they didn't do what they're supposed to do. Children also can become traumatized from watching their parent or guardian become abused. They could also become victims of abuse themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna share a little part of my story real quick. I was that kid who watched their parents with domestic abuse, and so I grew up in that. And for the longest, and to be honest with you, I just learned a couple of years ago that a lot of my issues was anxiety, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. But it was because I used to watch my parents fight, and I grew up thinking that was normal.
Right.
So I had to, unlearn some things and relearn some things of that's not normal and that's not what you do. So it was one of those things that I settled for at one point in my life, that it was okay for me and talk to you rough or cuss you or anything like that. So I think it took me being married to learn that that was not normal. And those behaviors were not good. So I've been that victim and I've seen a lot of those things before in life. Yep. So I think I've got all my questions. Any of you guys want to elaborate on anything?
I just want to say, this is October and this is Domestic Violence Month. So there are many places that have this awareness out. So make sure we look into that and also help someone along the way.
Okay.
Right.
Renee? I'm sorry.
Yes, I did. I wanted to add that I know we focus more so on the victim, but I wanted to just kind of zoom in on the perpetrator themselves, because there's a reason why they're that perpetrator, you know, and it could be a combination of reasons. It could be individual reasons. It could be relational reasons, societal reasons, community reasons, but all of those reasons contribute to the risk of that person becoming an intimate partner, violent perpetrator. And all of these multi-level factors can help you identify opportunities for prevention. So if we could recognize the signs of somebody who's demonstrating perpetrator behavior, we could prevent it. And so some of those individual risk factors may include aggressive or delinquent behavior as an adolescent. You have heavy alcohol and drug abuse, maybe have poor behavioral control, impulsiveness. There are relationship factors, marriages. There's always a conflict in a marriage. And so you have marital conflicts, fights and tensions, a history of experiencing poor parenting, like we just discussed. Thank you for sharing that. And community factors, weak community sanctions against those who commit the violence, or poor neighborhood structures. And I can go on and on and on as far as like societal factors. One big thing is weak health, educational, economic, and social policies of law. I mean, we just kind of, like you said, we overlook it. That ain't my problem. It's everybody's problem, because intimate partner violence is preventable.
True. Do we know any local resources or any websites or information that we can put out there if someone needs it?
Of course, we have the First Light Shelter. It's an emergency shelter. We have YWCA Domestic Violence Services. It's not just a service. They also, it's not just a shelter. They also offer transitional housing and other programs to help survivors of partner violence.
Crisis Center.
I heard, I believe it was Saniqua say that, you kind of experience this honeymoon phase, and where they give you that phone call or that big teddy bear, and now I've gone back to this problem. Well, sometimes I need help to get out of that problem, and legal service.
Okay, it looks like he's breaking up. Okay, so we have legal services, the crisis center, I think I've heard us say, and anyone else know of any more resources?
One place is a local Birmingham. Let's see, the website is, I believe, One Place Birmingham. Let me double check that. But what One Place aims to be is sort of this one stop. If you don't know where to start, you don't know what sort of services are available or anything like that, it can feel overwhelming. Like this place, they'll connect you with other resources like the YWCA, the Crisis Center. Okay, yeah, the website is oneplacebirmingham.com, and they have a phone number that you can call 24 hours a day, and they'll connect you with all the resources that are available.
Okay. Ms. McAdory, would you like to add anything? You're muted.
I just like to say you all have done a great job tonight, bringing us information, bringing us awareness about domestic violence, intimacy with our partners. And the one thing that I would like to, as a faith-based, is just to say that all the time, just going to the preacher is not enough. The preacher needs to have some learning and some teaching that he can give the right information to a specific situation. And all of them are not just right out of the Bible. You've got to go to trained professionals to help our people. So our young men need to know this, as well as young ladies, because men will continue to do what they do. If you have sick, this is a disease. It's a sickness. If you've got that sickness, if you can't recognize it, and if you are the person that's doing it, then you need to have some help. And you need to go to professionals who can help you in that situation. Great job tonight, ladies.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you to the Wilkinson Wellness Lab for bringing this Monday night info onto us. Next week, we'll look for the same thing on our breast awareness, mammograms and so forth. We look forward to it next week, and after then, epilepsy awareness. Okay, great job. Looking forward to it. Thank you again.
Thank you. Dr. Wilkinson, we welcome you back.
Wow, what an exciting night. I can't say this enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you who joined us. Thank you to our presenters this evening. You did a great job informing us about intimate partner violence, domestic violence. This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And this has just been an awesome time to share information. What awesome stories. I appreciate your vulnerability and sharing. This has just been great. I look forward, as Mrs. McAdory already alluded to, coming back next Monday, where we're going to talk about breast cancer awareness and talk about self-breast exams and talk about mammograms. So I'm excited for that. And then the following week, this is also Epilepsy Awareness Month as well. So we're going to talk about epilepsy. So please come back next Monday and the following Monday to join us for those topics, 7:30 p.m. right here at the Wilkinson Wellness Lab. We wish y'all health, safety, and wellness as you take on and go on into the night. And be well, everybody. And thank you again, students. Catch you next time.